The world isn't built on fairness. The earlier you accept this harsh reality, the quicker you'll stop playing the role of its victim. At this very moment, while you're listening, someone with less intelligence than you is commanding greater respect. Someone physically weaker than you is exercising more authority. Someone with fewer abilities is living the lifestyle you dream of, simply because they've mastered the darker layers of human psychology. You've been conditioned to follow rules that others abandoned long ago. You've been taught to be polite while others act with strategy. You've been trained to wait for recognition while others snatch it. The system isn't neutral, it's stacked, not against everyone, but against those who refuse to learn the hidden rules, against those who still believe fairness exists, against those who value good intentions above psychological strength. 5 centuries ago, Niccolò Machiavelli uncovered the hidden mechanics of power and influence. He explained why kind men lose and why cold strategists take the throne. Today, I'm going to reveal 8 psychological principles that will turn you from invisible and ignored into dangerously confident, untouchable, and unforgettable. But be warned, once you glimpse this psychological matrix, you cannot unsee it. Once you learn these rules, the victim role is no longer available to you. I know because I lived this shift. I was the guy who had all the right answers, but nobody cared to listen. Intelligent, hardworking, authentic, and completely unnoticed. I watched as arrogant fools climbed the ladder above me. Manipulators built success while honest workers struggled. Smooth-talking sociopaths built armies while good men sat alone. Then the truth hit me. The world doesn't reward intelligence, it rewards influence. It doesn't honor kindness, it honors presence. It doesn't admire good hearts, it admires psychological force. That realization shattered my illusions, but it also freed me from the prison of invisibility. Machiavelli wrote in Renaissance Italy, in an era of betrayal, shifting alliances, and power struggles. He watched kingdoms rise and collapse, all based on one principle. Those who understand psychology rule over those who don't. His teachings aren't just dusty history. They are manuals for anyone who wants to stop being manipulated and start becoming magnetic. Ruthlessness doesn't mean cruelty. It means psychological awareness. It means understanding that while you play checkers with kindness, others are playing chess with precision. Before we dive in, I want you to make a declaration. Write this in the comments. I refuse to be psychologically dominated by others. This isn't just a line, it's the first step to psychological sovereignty. Because everything I'm about to teach requires a shift from victim mindset to predator mindset. Are you ready to become dangerously confident? Let's begin. 1. Fairness is a psychological trap. This is the first brutal reality. Fairness is an illusion sold to keep you obedient. Every time you wait for fair treatment, someone else is taking what you wanted. Every time you follow imaginary rules, someone else is rewriting the game. Every time you expect reciprocity, manipulators exploit your predictability. You were trained to believe fairness is noble. In truth, it makes you prey. Think about it. How often have you shown respect to someone who gave you none? How often have you helped someone who never returned the favor? How often have you waited patiently while others cut in line? That's not bad luck. It's psychological programming. Machiavelli warned, men should either be treated generously or destroyed because they take revenge for slight injuries. For grave ones, they cannot. This isn't about physical violence. It's about psychological dominance. Small wounds to someone's ego lead to revenge. Complete dominance leaves no room for it. Most people make half measures. Weak pushback against strong personalities, soft boundaries with aggressive people. The result? You look weak and create enemies who sense an opportunity to crush you later. Real psychological strength looks different. When someone disrespects you, you don't debate or justify. You act in a way that makes it instantly clear that disrespect comes with heavy social consequences. You don't beg for respect, you create conditions where respecting you benefits others and disrespecting you costs them. Stop waiting for fairness. Start being strategic. 2. Ruthlessness is emotional discipline. Most think ruthlessness means outbursts or cruelty. They're wrong. Real ruthlessness is emotional discipline. The ruthless don't explode, they calculate. They don't react, they respond. They don't act out of wounded pride. They act from cold strategy. That's why emotionally reactive people never rise in influence. They're predictable, easily manipulated, and quick to surrender control. The dominant understand emotions are signals, not commands. They feel anger, disappointment, frustration, but they don't let these dictate behavior. Picture this. Someone tries to humiliate you in public. The reactive person argues defensively, looking weak. The disciplined person pauses, processes, and chooses a response that either undermines the attacker, elevates their own image, or both. Maybe silence, maybe a sharp factual correction, maybe a display of calm composition. Machiavelli advised, injuries must be inflicted at once, so they cannot be repeated. In psychological terms, when you must respond decisively. Don't get dragged into petty back and forths. Look at the strongest people you know. Do they lose their temper in public? Do they argue with everyone? Or do they maintain calm, calculated presence? That's psychological sovereignty, and it terrifies manipulators. Master your emotions, let others react. You respond. 3. Psychological dominance beats likability. This one hurts people pleasers. Respect outweighs likability. Being liked makes you safe, predictable, and easy to exploit. Being respected makes others cautious because they know crossing you has consequences. Machiavelli put it bluntly, it is safer to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. This isn't tyranny. It's having a reputation that discourages disrespect. In practice, likable people say yes when they mean no. Dominant people decline without guilt. Likable people accept disrespect quietly. Dominant people shut it down immediately. Likable people explain and justify. Dominant people decide and move forward. The shift is simple but powerful. Stop asking, will they like me? Start asking, does this increase or decrease my power? 4. Decisive action builds authority. Weak people threaten consequences but rarely follow through. They nag, plead, and warn endlessly. Everyone learns to ignore them. Dominant people act rarely, but decisively. One move is enough to make a lasting impression. Machiavelli wrote, if you injure someone, strike so hard they cannot retaliate. Psychologically, this means don't chip away with small responses. When you act, make it definitive. If someone constantly disrespects you, don't argue endlessly. Wait, then deliver one decisive response that makes everyone understand the cost of crossing you. After that, people won't test you lightly again. 5. Perception is reality. Most think being good is enough. Wrong. People don't see your depth, they see your surface. They don't analyze your character, they make snap judgments. Machiavelli said everyone sees what you appear to be. Few know what you really are. That's why managing perception isn't fake, it's survival. Your posture, tone, image, and associations speak louder than truth. If you walk in with presence, people categorize you as important before you open your mouth. Strategic people control their narrative before others define it for them. 6. Narrative control is psychological warfare. Every event can be framed in multiple ways. Leadership or arrogance, confidence or selfishness, strength or aggression. The person who frames it first wins. Most people focus on action, ignoring narrative. Big mistake. Stories matter more than facts in human psychology. Machiavelli observed, men in general judge more by the eye than the hand, meaning people accept appearances and narratives over reality. That's why you must always frame your choices, victories, and failures. Tell your story before others tell theirs. 7. Systematic consequences create authority. True power isn't in fronts, it's in systems. When behaviors automatically lead to predictable outcomes, people adjust without arguments. Machiavelli said, a wise ruler depends on what is in his control, not on others. Don't argue with people who waste your time. Build systems where their access depends on respecting you. Don't beg for better treatment. Make it the only option if they want to benefit from you. 8. Silent dominance is ultimate power. The loudest aren't the strongest. The truly powerful rarely speak of their power, they demonstrate it. Machiavelli taught, one must be a fox to recognize traps and a lion to terrify wolves, meaning be cunning when needed, forceful when required,